Good afternoon.
I guess we'll give it time for people to get on. If they're gonna get on today. It has been one interesting weekend. And still going. All right, well, look here, it's 6:32. So let's go ahead and start. Craig, thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And so we'll go ahead and start off as I know that people are still caught up from what happened over the weekend. I don't need to express what happened. I'm pretty sure everybody knows about it.
Mr. Craig came on before you get started with that. Mr. Craig wants to let everybody know about what he's providing to the community.
No. That's what I was starting off with that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So, right. I was just, briefing everybody, but before we get to that, as Brother Craig is bringing something unique, I met this gentleman at GMA, the Georgia Municipal Association, on a Sunday, and then he came out Friday. And without further delay, Mr. Craig, I will let you better tell what you're offering and what you're bringing to this city.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, everyone, for allowing me to talk a little bit about what I am bringing to the table. My name is Craig Brown. I am the general manager for a firm by the name of Universal Safety Solutions of Atlanta. Our firm is a organization that is engaged in upfitting police vehicles, or emergency vehicles. So let me explain what that is really quickly. So when you purchase a vehicle, a police department, or fire department, or any municipality, it comes from the dealer just like anyone else would purchase it in ordinary situations. It doesn't come with all the lights, the sirens, the light on the top, on the front, and the grill, the push bar, any of those things. Those upgrades are basically farmed out to firms such as ours. And we take those stock vehicles that comes from the dealer, and we install all those components on that vehicle and basically transform it into a public official vehicle or a first responders vehicle. What we are bringing to the table is job opportunities in this space for interested candidates that are looking to engage in a career that's rewarding, lucrative, and a lot of opportunity for growth in our firm to actually do the upfitting of those vehicles. We're currently located in Alpharetta, Georgia, but we have some immediate plans to expand our footprint into the South Fulton area. We're looking for facilities right now to expand to. We are also willing to bring resources in that has some type of background, perhaps in mechanic work or electronic. For example, if they've done some automobile audio installations before, we will take that skill set that they come to the table with, and we'll train them on the skills that we need them to have, and then we will put them to work. And our training is paid training as well. And finally, you guys have a great program with a gentleman by the name of Henry Burham, that I believe that that's a spearhead of Councilman Reeves as well. We are taking individuals from that program, and we are basically converting them into our, if they're interested, into our program to train them and get them day ready for operations with us. So, and that's just a tip of the iceberg, because we're also looking to do some manufacturing of the parts that we actually install. So we have a lot of big plans and a lot of exciting things that's coming to South Fulton, and I'm super excited about it. That makes sense, guys? Any questions?
Well, man, look here, we super excited for this opportunity to happen. And, you know, and July 21st, there will be the historical graduation of the certificate received from the Electric 101 introductory course. And those who want will be able to sign up for this course and have a career opportunity. And let me ask you a question. Does people with alternative backgrounds, does that play a factor, or is that welcomed?
Now, you said alternative backgrounds?
Right. Well, basically people who second chance opportunities.
Oh, no, we don't discriminate in that regard at all. As long as that person is dedicated, he or she is serious about their business and want to go to work, we are glad to have them. You know, so no discrimination there. And you know, we will, of course, take it by a case by case basis, but I see no reason at all not to bring anyone on who's interested and who has the background to be successful in this role.
Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about bringing manufacturing down here to the city of South Fulton to meet a nationwide need. Because what is the current backlog, sir, on vehicles getting outfitted?
That's a great question. So just with the city of Atlanta, for example, there are hundreds of cars that need to be upfitted because, quite frankly, there's not enough businesses, enough people to upfit the companies, the cars that are currently, you know, that the municipalities are waiting on. And that's across the entire Atlanta metro and across the entire nation. There's a backlog of cars. And I know for a fact, for example, we just put in a bid for 100 cars for the city of Atlanta. And they've been waiting on these cars for months now. The situation is that the RFP went out almost a year ago, as I understand it. A company, local company, you know, won the bid before we came in this area. And then but they just don't have the bandwidth or the resources to upfit the vehicles. Therefore, we were reached out to directly to put in a quote to actually do the upfitting. And we did so today, and we're ready to hear back. So what that would mean, guys, is that as soon as, if we are awarded that, and I'm hopeful that we will be, I'm claiming it. If we are awarded that opportunity, then absolutely, I need more people than I thought that I would need, because those 100 cars will turn into many more. Because what we heard of from the city of Atlanta, for example, on Thursday we had a meet and greet in our facility. There were that right now they have 100 cars in backlog, but they also had plans to purchase $33 million worth of cars in the next 2 years. So whomever is in this business and whoever's in this role is going to have a place for years to come, because with that type of order, that type of funds that's allocated just for police cars, for example, that's a huge amount. And not to mention, we have all the surrounding areas. For example, the city of South Fulton. I'm connected with you guys now. We've already submitted our application for to become a vendor, and we're looking to have some success in that area too, by helping you guys to upfit your cars, because you are about 100 cars in backlog, and that's both from the police department as well as the fire department, for example, combined. So it's an astronomical amount of cars that are out there that needs to be done. You drive down South Cobb, for example, and you look at Wade Ford. There's thousands of cars, and I'm not exaggerating, on both sides of the street, both sides of that four-way highway there. And these are cars that have been purchased by the municipalities, but they're just sitting there, and they can't be done because there's not enough people to do it.
Absolutely. And so what is the starting pay rate for experience versus inexperience or something in this field?
Yeah. So we're going to start off with a training, hourly fee, hourly rate, anywhere from 18 to 20 an hour. But then when you become a full-time resource, and we're looking at very shortly thereafter, you're looking at 45 to 60K per year. And that's starting pay, depending on experience, depending on, if you got any managerial experience behind you, because we're looking to, expand and grow and give opportunities for growth internally. So the starting pay, again, is anywhere from 45 to 60 per year. But there is a training, hourly bill rate that we're going to provide to the candidates that come on board. And then once they pass that probation period or that training period, then we offer them full-time employment.
Absolutely. And so could you put your information in the chat? It says, are these gasoline or electric cars, and how long is the training? That was a question in the chat.
Good question. So these are either cars, because you're looking at either type, I should say, gasoline or electric, because these vehicles are they're police cars that are electric that I've seen out there, for example, and forced gasoline. So either one. And the other question was how long the training was, and the training from our perspective is going to be like 2 weeks. And that's, again, for the right person who's coming out of the 101 electronic course that's being offered today through Henry's course. And then, we would choose the right people via the interview process, and bring them on and train them for 2 weeks. And then you're on the way. When you start the program, when you start the employment, you just be assured that you will not be, just hang out to the woods there, to the wolves. We plan to, do the needful to connect you with an experienced person, and that experienced person would basically, make sure that you are up to speed and you are successful. So I'm looking at the chat as well.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So the other one is, I'm not, well, if it's 300 miles, I think it's, it really depends, ma'am, but our goal is to upfit vehicles regardless of the distance that they go. But yes, it varies. Those numbers vary. Stock options and benefit opportunities. Yes, we do have some benefits that we are offering for the role when you become a full-time employee. Yes.
This is Chandra with that. I asked that question as it relates to stock options, though. Are those stock options available to buy for employees to buy into the company, as well as outside community members to buy into your company, or are you private?
We're private, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, we're private. Yeah, we at this point, honestly, we don't have any ambitions to go public, but things change. We have a lot of ideas and a lot of plans in the works, and it's gonna cause us to grow tremendously. But that's something certainly we will be thinking about moving forward. But internally, there is a stock option that we're going to offer to the employees once they become full-time. So Don has a question, what's involved in the upfitting? So Don, again, if you think about when a vehicle comes from the manufacturer or a dealership, and let's say it's a Ford Explorer, which is a pretty popular police car that I'm seeing in this area. It comes just like any full Explorer that anyone, a civilian, would purchase. Well, you have your lights that goes on the top, the light bar. You have your push bar that goes in the front. You have lights that are in the grill. You have lights that are on the side. You have a siren, of course, that's in the vehicle, and a speaker. You have lights that are in the back. You have everything that identifies a police vehicle, and to include window tinting and any decals that are necessary to place on the vehicle as well. So all of those components are a part of the upfitting activity to transition the vehicle. Will they work on this side, or do they have to come to Alpharetta? Initially, Tamiko, they would be here. However, as you know, we are currently looking for a space in South Fulton. So when we find that space, and I'm hoping that it's this sooner than later, especially if we get these 100 cars from the city of Atlanta and are able to ascertain the opportunity through the location in South Fulton there, we will need a bigger facility. Our facility at that point, when we do expand to South Fulton, will really just be a training facility. And then we will do all of the real work, if you will, in the South Fulton location.
Awesome. That's
So,
that's what we like to hear, because that more jobs, more creation. And what is the current footprint of y'all operation in Alpharetta?
in terms of the space, you mean, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yep. So our space is right around 2,000 square feet. It's basically a bay that can house 2 cars, or we can work on 2 cars at once. What we're looking for, and the specs that I shared with Tamiko this morning, along with the economic development person, is we're looking for one that of a warehouse facility that has anywhere from 6 to 12 bays. So in other words, could be 12 times the size of this location. So yeah, when we find a location there, that's our goal, is to basically expand in that at that magnitude. And again, use this facility as a training facility.
Okay, well, awesome. And so so you can use something that pre-existing until you're ready to construct, design, build.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We definitely could.
We might have something for you, sir. Absolutely. And so this is awesome. And again, it's a product of, we met at GMA, the Georgia Municipal Association. And the truck that I was looking at was at Ford, the Lightning, F-150, the Lightning truck, all electric.
Mm-hmm.
And what is that? It also has the capabilities of acting as a backup generator for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Is that,
yeah.
And so as part of the installation, do y'all do any of that component as well, or just it's strictly the safety and the lights?
Right now, it's strictly the safety and the lights.
Right.
Yeah, it's none of those things, but with the skill set and with the fact that we can expand, I think right now we focus on what was our core competency, just to make sure that we can kind of master that, and then later on, as we get into manufacturing, we may be able to branch off into other areas.
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah.
Craig, this is Good news, sir. And so as we always look to expand our bandwidth, expand what we produce. And you're certainly a part of that, sir. And we're going to do all we can for you to call South Folsom home, sir.
I would love to have it. I can't wait.
Absolutely. And so it's now if we can get you and your lovely wife to move down here too, now that'd be awesome.
I would be opposed to that for sure.
No, I'm just pulling your leg, man. And so it's but however, any more questions?
Not a question, just a comment. This is Chandra. I have enjoyed what I heard, and your business, your plan most certainly could be the catalyst to bring more new, fresh ideas and innovative businesses to the city of South Fulton and help grow the area and grow opportunities for people within the community before searching for the talent outside of the community. So, I mean, I commend you and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
This is Glenda Collins. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So will there be any environmental impact, negative environmental impact with this facility?
No, ma'am, I wouldn't think so. There isn't any gases or any type of fumes or any type of disposal that we require. Our goal would be, to just make and manufacture parts. But in terms of the upfitting services itself, we're just essentially installing lights and push bars and sirens and things of that nature on police cars, on cars in general. So it's nothing that would, be hazardous.
So these items, will they be trucked in?
Yes, ma'am, they will be trucked in. We would have to have a warehouse that is, acceptable, if you will, to where we can receive the parts. But then we would, utilize forklifts and things of that nature to maneuver the parts in the locations in which it's needed.
Okay, so then these agencies that you make these modifications for, so how do they get the cars back to their facility? Do you transport them or do they transport them?
Great question. So our approach in normal situation is basically to have the police officers or whomever in the agency to bring the vehicles to our facility. We intake that vehicle, and the intake in that vehicle would be roughly a week once the parts are there. Once those vehicles are completed, and let's just say they had more for us to do, then they would swap those vehicles out, or they would just be called to bring those, to come and pick those vehicles up. So transporting of vehicles is out of the norm, quite honestly, but it's not, unheard of. If it is a need to do that, it would just be, your transporter that would drop vehicles off. We would basically upfit those vehicles, and then there would be a need to swap those out for additional, cars to upfit.
Okay, thank you.
Right, and Ms. Collins, I'm going to say this, and to everybody as well. I.e., gap in service equals opportunity for someone. That's why I will say that. So I will say that, and also too, Craig, when they're talking about what these have to be trucked in, do these parts and pieces necessarily have to be brought in by 18-wheeler, or could it be brought in by a 26-foot box truck with a lift gate?
We would prefer the box truck, quite honestly, because it would be, weatherproofed, if you will. And depending on the size of the deal, like for example, the 100 cars out of the city of Atlanta, if we were awarded that particular opportunity, then what we plan to do here in our other facilities that are located throughout the Southeast, we have 5 total, would be to, move those in, say 4, complete packages that has to be installed on a vehicle at once, and that can be done by a box truck, right? And unloaded and brought into our facilities through a hand truck, for example. But that's a great question.
Absolutely.
So I have another question. So does your company participate in any school systems, making donations and providing services for any schools?
In regards to the upfitting services, or just in general, ma'am?
Just in general, do you have a foundation or do you make donations?
Yeah, so for example, our location out of Savannah and out of Beaufort, South Carolina, the individual that is working in that area is also, for example, the commissioner for the Little League football team, which there is a connection in the Little League football into all of the schools that are in that area, as you may understand. So we donate, for example, the football equipment, pads, jerseys, things of that nature in that area. And we certainly plan to do the same here. As I attended the Balling for a Purpose event that the councilman has initiated on Friday evening. And I had the opportunity to speak with Mrs. Mumford, and she suggested, and I graciously accepted, to go and speak to the Banneker High School. And we plan to not only speak to them and offer them a pipeline to our organization, but we also plan on sponsoring a team or maybe some teams at the Balling for a Purpose event. So we are all about, bringing to the, not taking, but also giving in the areas in which we work and in which we have a business. So we want to, ramp that up 10 times in your area, because we want to, open up that facility that is going to be a manufacturing facility for us. And that's going to make all of us more successful, because it's a huge market void right now, because there's a lot of not only it causes a void from a performance perspective, but there's also a part shortage. So if we can make those parts, we can fill that void.
Okay, I have one more question.
Uh-huh.
So if at any time you have a parts shortage, does that mean that you have a layoff?
I don't think we would have the part shortage. That's my point, is because of the fact that if the manufacturing would allow us to be extremely strategic, to divert our all of our efforts onto actually upfitting or creating parts that may be at a shortage. And we do that proactively too. And here's what I mean. So our software that we have is called the Ready Fleet Manager. We utilize that to manage all of our efforts. That application has artificial intelligence embedded within it. And what that means is that when we understand that there's a shortage of any type of product, then we can direct our manufacturing when the time comes to ramp up on that before it actually comes to fruition. And here's how that would happen. So if we understand, for example, the RFPs that are out, the RFPs that have been awarded, and all of the backlog that's in the market, and how many, say, for example, how many sirens that they're required, then what we can do is kind of look at that analysis, look at that data, and understand that there are 1,000 that are short. We need 1,000 sirens, and we're going to need that in next year, right?
Yeah.
So we can get on to start building those 1,000.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Okay. Yes, it makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. That means you're always ahead of the game with your inventory.
Absolutely, absolutely. That means our people are always busy. They're never stagnated and not working, not being productive to the broader cause. A lot of companies right now, what they do is they just build to their inventory, and their inventory may not align with what the industry needs, and it's obvious, right?
Okay.
So we're planning
That's
to be
right.
much more proactive.
Yes. Okay. It makes sense. You're right. I agree.
So in other words, Georgia grown, South Fulton made, as we'll have South Fulton made all over that, as we're into manufacturing, creating it. And so that's creating a cradle to career pipeline. And so as an innovation encompassing technology, and he specifically spoke about AI, and get ready because we're getting ready to do a series on AI, and what that's all about. What does that look like? How is it interfacing, and how it is already interfaced with the things you're using currently? And so it's nothing to run from, but it's something to embrace because it's here and it ain't going nowhere, and that is the future.
That's
And
right.
so well, we're going to talk about that too another day, as you have a component as well in your bandwidth as to speak about that. But give the name of your company again, sir.
It is Universal Safety Solutions of Atlanta. And I've always, and also typed it into the chat for Ms. Karen.
Awesome. Any more questions, ladies and gentlemen? Start of something new. Go ahead.
I don't have a question. I just have a statement. I think this is groundbreaking and this is wonderful. You're right. This is changing lives. Once again, you hit it out the ballpark. I'm proud of you, Corey. Thank you.
Well, absolutely.
Mr. Brown, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, this is a me week. Get this. This is a me week combo, and so as you know, I spearheaded and the detail and go through it and flesh it out, and so we do speak about it, General Leverett, and so we have a collaborative effort with Mr. Craig coming on board. Get this, ladies and gentlemen, this is just one of many. We have more. We started with Chandra with the community gardens. We got that getting ready to take place. I'm getting ready to go pick my greens. And then we coming out here with the new manufacturing and innovation. And because I do want to be known as a city of innovation, I do want that title. I want that title right there because everything that it brings is because we are innovating and innovative people here. And so, and giving people here an opportunity economically. And so, that is what we're here to do. And so I'm just excited that all of this comes together. And, it's a collaborative effort. I promise you, I'm not doing this by myself. And so it's, but collaboration wins championships, people. And I'm going to stand by that.
That's the truth.
Absolutely. And any more questions? Anything else from Mr. Craig? Anything else?
Oh, his name is Craig Brown?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, I think you did a great job, and I look forward to it. And I hope everybody's comes the 21st, which is an historical moment in the city of South Fulton, because on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, those who want the opportunity will be sign up with Mr. Brown and ready to take flight on their new career opportunity. And
Absolutely.
so as I'm just excited. I'm just through all, get this. Don't know, rain will come, okay? But the sun will shine again. And that is an absolute fact. And so and today is a sunny day, and it's shining on the city of South Fulton.
Every day.
Every day. Every day. Absolutely. And so there's no complaints. And so I'm excited.
I definitely
so-
am. I thank you guys so much for allowing me to speak to you today. I'm super excited. I can't wait to get started.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Mr. Brown, we're gonna let you go and continue your day. And so, thank you again. And so, we appreciate you and all that you do, and all that the future holds.
Thank you guys. I'm gonna put my number in the chat. If anybody thinks of any questions, please call me directly. That's my direct cell phone. And it's always on for you guys.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks again, guys. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to tell you, I love it. I
We
love
do.
it.
Corey, may I speak?
Absolutely.
I would like to talk about the federal money that's been allocated to the city. Correct me if I'm wrong. We have people that are on septic tanks. Are we getting any funded to move them to sewer and off of the septic tank? And is that the way of the future? The sewer as opposed to the septic tank?
Some people want to stay on septic. But those who want sewer will have to tie in. And they can tie in at any given time.
At any given time, I thought the money is temporary. The funds are temporary, aren't they? And it's paid for with this federal money. And if we don't use it for sewer, then what are we going to use our federal money for in District 5?
When you say federal money,
I understand that's federal money that has been allocated to the city of South Fulton.
specifically for what?
I don't know what the restrictions are, or if it's restricted. All I know is in District 1, and I listened to the meeting the other night, they said that the funds will be used to move people off septic tank to sewer. That's District 1. So I'm asking you, do we have funds that are allocated to District 5? And if so, what are we going to use them for?
Well, as far as I know, we do not have federal funds allocated for the 5th district to move people from septic to sewer. We have ARPA funds. I mean, I'm trying to figure out, did they try, because that's an infrastructure project.
Okay.
And so as far as I'm aware, you just hit me to some information that I'm going to go check on. Tamika, are you aware of any of this? What's going on over there? Because see, that's could have been, they could have applied for it, a grant or something of that nature specifically, but anything that I'm unaware of is because see, I do know that we have quite a few people who are on septic in our area, but they want to remain on septic. They don't want to be.
Okay,
So
but that is.
I don't know specifically of this specific grant you are referring to. I will find out about it and come back next week with that detail. However, if it is a federal grant, it isn't going to be generally provided to one district. It's going to be provided to the city, and then residents would be eligible for the program that's being implemented. It wouldn't be a district specific grant.
Exactly, because see,
it can't be. It has to be defined by a city.
And that's what we know, right? That's the information that currently that we have. But I'm curious, is because you just said something over at the District 1 meeting on some federal funds, and so don't worry about it. We will definitely find out. And so, because we'll just tap into that, absolutely. And so, just for whatever we need to tap into it for.
Okay, and because there's a nursery school that wants to get off the sewer, wants to get off the septic tank and move to sewer,
There's a who school?
a nursery school. I'll
is
have
this
to get the
located?
information for you. It's in your district, I believe.
Is this the one on Gabi Place in Old Bill Cook?
I guess so. The one that they turned down. I'll have to get the address for you and send it to you and Tamiko.
Okay, because there's one on Jerome, there's one on Old Bill Cook, and there's
Mhm.
one on Red Oak.
I'll have to get the information. Miss Williams has that information,
Okay.
Jane Williams. So we will contact you and let you know. And if we are provided federal funds through the infrastructure program and we do not get the septic tank, is there any way it can be allocated to get the lights and the speed bumps?
So let me,
Lights possibility, speed bumps, that's no.
Okay.
so but to answer the question that you asked for, don't forget that there is funds that we haven't allocated and utilized. So there's several. I don't know how much detail I'm supposed to say. However, let me be clear. The city isn't broke. The city has funds. We have some technical difficulties accessing our funds. We don't have enough staff to help get the processes in place that should be happening. So for instance, I've spoke with economic development. He has 2 grants that he is sitting on. One is for a small business and one, I forgot what the rest is, but he's not made it through the RFP process through procurement in order to get it out to the public. And so that's a challenge that he's been having for like a year and a half to get it through. Every time he gets ready to do it, staffing changes and then he has to start over because the new person has a new set of criteria to get through. And we're going through one now with a person who has extra stringent rules and regulations to get through. So a lot of times it's the internal staffing that's holding the process up, not that we aren't eligible for the funding or we don't have someone to submit for the funding. So we don't have a grant writer for the city.
Bingo.
We need to
So,
outsource it. We need to outsource for
Well,
a
we can
grant writer.
hold, Miss Connor, hold on. Let's pump the praise back because we outsource a whole lot of stuff. Isn't that something? And the last time we outsourced it led us to what we got now. So I'm gonna just say, can we find what's within and insource before we outsource? Because I think we have qualified individuals, more than qualified individuals, who is
Well, let's go and get them.
Get this. We already got them.
Okay.
But see, you have to just look within first. And so I tell people, if you want to change, look within first. You know what I mean? And so, as I firmly believe that, because I think that we have more than qualified people who reside right here, maybe your neighbor. But I'm just saying that is let's look that route because see this, there ain't nothing wrong with outsourcing some stuff.
Right. I want to say one more thing and I'm going to shut up. Okay. Now, if that person makes the rules and policies so stringent that people cannot qualify and cannot disperse the funds, should they be returned or will they have to be returned? Thank you.
The funds? Well, before we return anything, we're going to find a way to use them because, see, there's a solution to everything. But what I will say is this, is on this procurement issue. Now, I don't get involved with procurement. Matter of fact, I don't even get involved with staff stuff, period. But however, I do know that, we're policymakers. So procurement should have a policy. Get this. It don't matter who changes the seat in administering the policy should be the same and people should adhere to those policies, as that's a fact. But see, sometimes people don't understand role delineation. And so they're in a procurement role and then contract compliance is a whole nother role and, separate. And so you cannot intertwine the two. And one person cannot intertwine the two. And so we just got to further effectuate a procurement policy that's solid policy for the city, and whoever administers it, the policy ain't changing.
Okay, thank you, Corey.
Particularly
Loretta?
procurement. And so,
Hey,
yes.
hey Corey, how you guys doing? So, with my fulstration, I have some concerns. And my first concern is I emailed you about the trash. Whoever the South Fulton industry folks have, South Fulton Sanitation has still not picked up several trash cans throughout this whole district.
Miss
We have
Loretta,
people.
Fulton Sanitation, right?
Yep.
So
I emailed
they're
you.
going to
Did
be
you get my email?
Yes, ma'am. They're going to be collected. Waste Pro will be collecting them. And so
Okay, thank you.
yes, ma'am. So I told you I was gonna have that answer for you. And so yes, ma'am, because they just abandoned ship. So it's unfortunate that people will leave us in that predicament, but Waste Pro will be collecting those, ma'am.
So we still have in our community, and our subdivision, GFL have not picked up any of their trash cans. Now, there's one on our empty lot. We just found that the two, Fulton Sanitation and GFL are both sitting on that empty lot. We just mowed down the actual lot, and there are two trash cans sitting there. They have not been picked up. Are they going to pick them up, or GFL is going to pick those up?
Well, GFO will pick theirs up.
Well, they haven't picked it up, and they've been through here, and they have not picked it up.
Well, do a C-click fix or just send me an email with the address, and I'll forward that to GFL. GFL is doing a pretty good job in collecting their trash and bins, and so Fulton Sanitation, that's a whole different story.
Yeah. So
ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this: there was a subcontractor to this contract. That's what makes this unfortunate.
Right, we know.
And so is the argument, the fight to, an effort to put forth to have subcontractors for them to do this is, I'm really disturbed by that. Because
you went to mute, Corey.
Pardon me?
Okay, now we couldn't hear you. You went mute.
No. Well, that was my phone ringing, and so it's yeah. And I'm just saying that that's just unfortunate because that gives subcontractors a bad name. And I just, like I said, it's unfortunate, but.
So let me just let me ask you this then. I have a corner right off Buffington Road. There's a house that has South Fulton Sanitation, and that darn trash been up there for over 2 weeks full of trash to the brim, and it's still with Fulton Sanitation. Are they still going to remove that trash? Because what I don't want, I've been seeing a lot of snakes and rodents due to coming from that direction of this house on this corner. So somebody needs to, I don't know if court folks need to knock on their door, but somebody need to tell them they got trash literally falling out onto right across from this Hayfield charter school, high school over here. Somebody needs to cite them or say something to that house because they have trash literally running out the darn container, and it's been there for over 2 weeks. Somebody needs to do something about that. I don't want to deal with rodents looking at that darn trash.
Well, it's two issues. One is we need to collect it, and two is where's their South Fulton trash can?
It's a Fulton Sanitation, and it's another, and I think it's not our current Waste Pro, it's the other two, but the owners, whoever lives there, have got trash running down it, and it's full, and it's been like that for weeks.
Yeah, it's the house right across the street from the fire department at that traffic light. Just as you turn onto Old Bill Cook. I passed it like about an hour and a half ago. So the new trash can, the new trash can is full, but it's right by the house But like you're saying, up the hill on the road, there are two completely full trash bins. On the,
Somebody, I'm seriously, somebody, this has been going on for at least, I know, well over 2 weeks now. And for some reason, whoever lives there refuse. I don't know if they just don't want to just, I don't know what they want to do. I'm not assuming anything, but I don't want to have to deal with rodents dealing with that foolishness. That makes no sense. That's really starting to be a eyesore. That's ridiculous. And I don't know if the code enforcer drive past or whatever. Somebody needs to say something to that house. That is ridiculous.
Well, they have to come collect the cans, but I'll do a C-click fix on that as on my way to
But Corey,
the house.
if they're not gonna, the point is the trash is there. Is Waste Pro gonna just remove it because South Fulton has not ever picked up their trash? I mean, this has been there for probably longer than that. I'm sure several people have seen that trash sit there. So this has been a long time. I don't know if South Fulton, they never picked up their trash because they didn't pay the bill. That's neither here or there. Something needs to be done about that trash.
Okay, so I want to be clear. So it's in a South Fulton receptacle or it's in a Fulton sanitation receptacle?
It's in a, I want to say it's in a blue one. The one that's still sitting in my yard, Fulton Sanitation, who's never been picked up. We have several of our homeowners here who actually have Fulton Sanitation. They have not picked up the container. That's one issue. But the one on the corner, like the young lady said, that's been there for weeks at a time. They still have not picked up that trash. So my question to you, will
it's two
Waste Pro
Fulton
please
containers.
get that trash? I just want it to be picked up.
Ms. Loretta, it will be picked up. Like I said, I will do a C-click fix and then I will get that address and your community as well as to ask Waste Pro, what is the time frame on getting around to, because y'all trash pickup is Thursday, correct?
Ours is on Thursday, yes.
Right. So one is dump the trash and then have somebody come the same day and come collect it. So that'll be the ideal situation for this Thursday. So let's see if we can make some headway that rate. And so at least the trash will be dumped.
So let me just reiterate what you're saying. For my residents who are in my community, Buffington Park community, who still have Fulton Sanitation, these blue cans, are we still putting them out on the curb so they can pick them up? That's what I need to know, because I need to let my residents know that as of today.
So they have blue cans. Wait, they have blue cans or they have the gray cans?
The gray cans, the sanitation ones, the old company. Are we informing them to pick them up?
What I am saying is I will get with our sanitation director and I would have them to put in the request to dump the trash when they go Thursday, to dump all receptacles that they see.
Okay.
And then have them come collect those receptacles on a separate vehicle on the same day, if possible.
Okay.
So that they can be removed. So the only thing that we have and the only thing we see is that blue and green.
Exactly. Okay. That's what I want to hear, that I hear you saying. Perfect. Now, my other question would be, is we know, I saw on the news that the city of Atlanta are allocating all this billions of dollars to fix these roads. What is South Fulton doing for us to get the same funding so we can get our roads completed as well?
Well, they put forward a whole, what is this, new Forward Atlanta, and a multi-billion-dollar plan that has an extra tax, like a 1 cent tax. But it goes for infrastructure. They have a whole list of projects. It's interesting that you said that. I just went through it and legit and just put South Fulton on there and just said, here, Public Works, do that. And so
in that South Fulton, are you going to allocate for certain districts to get there? Is it going to be done by district? Is it going to be done subdivision? What are we doing?
Oh no, man, we do have T-spots too, and so and I did put in for the projects that included the sidewalk, street lights, for flat shows, extending from Union City all the way on down. Stop sign over at Pearson Mallory. Um, there's a few more things.
Could you put Buffington in there? Could you put Buffington in there? Because our
Well,
roads need to
actually,
be done.
well, y'all subdivision needs to be
Yes.
resurfaced. That's for sure.
Yes, it's
So
horrible.
that no. We yours and two others. That's priority. But we're getting ready to break ground on Buffington Road. They're getting ready to start the construction, which is going to be 3 years. And so I do want, but that's not going to affect your end of the street. It's going to affect from the bridge and beyond to Highway 29. And so, but however, the repavement or resurfacing of your community is definitely on my top list as I submitted to Mr. Valenzuela, because C.W. Matthews is getting ready to be awarded that resurfacing contract. And
Okay.
so,
All right, perfect.
but
So you and I gonna get-
however, I
Uh-huh.
see Ms. Loretta as, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I want a date and the time that starts. See, I want to come back to you. Here's a date and a time. That's why it takes me long to respond, because see, I don't want to come back. Oh, it's gonna be done, but see, y'all been waiting so long. I need a date and a time. You know what I mean? And so
Well, let's do
metrics.
this
I don't
then.
want to come back to
Let's
you
do
and
this.
just say it's going to be done. I want to be able
Let's
to
do
say they're
that.
going to be starting the week of August the
Okay.
1st, right?
I get that. I get that.
And so as and I'm just waiting on that answer. And so as soon as I get that, matter of fact, as soon as I get that, I have the subject matter expert tell you himself. And so because I think that yours, Three Lakes, and there's another community that just should have been included from the previous. And I know yours was included on the previous, and I don't know why it wasn't done. So, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay, you're right. So let's do this. We're offline because I don't keep nobody else's time. Let's literally, when you get close to that day, let's talk so I can get these residents prepared to get these cars off the street so we don't have that as a delay. Okay? I want to
Yes, ma'am.
project manage this thing and make sure when you get close to the date, let's start implementing that so I can start putting signs out when they need to move these cars off of there. That sound like a deal?
10-4. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Appreciate you. All right. That's all I got. Thanks, y'all.
Anybody else? We got to have Paul Denard back on. He was scheduled to come on at mid-June, but I know that we got disrupted a little bit by GMA. And
He's
by
scheduled for
GMA.
He's scheduled for next Monday.
Next Monday, please tell everybody that you know, particularly in the areas that's around Buffalo Road, to hop on the call. All communities. And so we're going to definitely get the word out about this one as he's coming to bring the news. And so
And what he's gonna tell us?
well, ladies and gentlemen, he's gonna update us. And so get this, is join the call. And so it's tell everybody else to join the call. And so we know that y'all gonna be here, but I'm telling you, it's very important that he is going to bring in some great information, and that you're going to want to hear, as this is going to affect the community for the next 3 years, particularly in the traffic, particularly in the way you want to get around. But, it's bringing progress and improvement to this corridor, and much needed. And we just want y'all to hear, I just want y'all to hear firsthand from the subject matter expert himself, and all what he's gonna have, and how we're gonna tap into it. He just don't know it yet, but we're gonna tap into it and try to get everything we can while we can. So, as I really want that noise retaining wall, I just gotta figure out how we gotta get it, and so tied into this here project. And so, but ladies and gentlemen, will additional land be acquired for this project, Ms. Glenda? That's already done. They already acquired all the land and did all the acquisitions, as they're ready to break ground and move forward. And so it's a street widening project, and with sidewalks and street lights.
Well-
And to the communities, existing communities, supposed to be the noise retaining wall as well. But I want something, you know, decorative is whole streetscapes. And so I'm gonna ask, matter of fact, I'm gonna ask to see if he does have a rendering as because they did have a rendering before. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is in the
I
bridge
know Corey,
expansion.
but excuse me, Corey, but the
Corey,
reason
this
I
Miss
asked that,
Johnson.
wait a minute, the reason I asked that is because when a lot of times when they do these projects, what they do, they take part of the street from the existing street and make these changes and narrow the driving lane. That's why I was asking that question. Thank you, Corey, for that info.
Yes, ma'am.
Corey, this Miss Johnson.
Miss Johnson, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Okay, I need my 5 lights in there because I was cheated before out of my 5 lights in the Fairwood Homeowner Association. And I want to know, when are we gonna finish my sidewalk going into Pepper Beach and Fairwood? They just stopped. And then second of all, is this man gonna tell us where he gonna put that light up there, Fairwood and Highway 29? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Tune in next Monday as we do have Paul Denard here from GDOT. You'll be able to ask all those questions, then some and more. And so, like I said, we're going to try to get every little thing we can out of this project while we can, because it's 3 years. So I think that's plenty of time. What y'all think? I think so too. Because see, y'all did hit me to something, is that railroad warning. I do want those from Mallory and Fairwood. And so, because y'all asked me for them. And so
Yes.
I think that's
we
a
did.
pretty good idea. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to
I
just
got
say
some
this.
announcements before you go.
Go ahead with the announcements, General Leverett.
It's been a while since I gave y'all announcements. So, first up, let me remind all of you that Councilman Pritchett is having a tax seminar for those of you who got the tax assessor announcement. Some of you are in disagreement with your tax assessments for your property, the homeowners. So she will be up at the Economic Development Office on this Thursday with someone speaking in reference to that, 7:00 p.m. Also, the Old National District is launching their first farmers market this coming Saturday. And that will be up on Old National, let me see, 6385 Old National. They are going to be feeding the first 75 people lunch that come out. But it will be a farmer's market for fresh fruits and vegetables for you. And then
What day again?
Saturday.
first is starting this weekend, first and third Saturdays, 10 to 2 p.m.
Mhm.
First
Oh,
and
but
third Saturdays. The
Tamiko, let me ask you a
newsletter will be
question.
coming out in the morning with all of
Right.
these flyers in it.
Let me ask you a question, because, and that's what I meant to ask. Ace Hardware is doing this, and as they're expanding out. And so, is there room for, because I did not ask, and so, like, people who, like Chandra, would she be able to bring some of her vegetables and stuff over there to the farmer's market? Or is this something that they just have inbred? Or is that a conversation to have?
Chandra, you want to answer that?
Well, I think I was told that I could. Matter of fact, I was told that I could, but
Absolutely.
I don't have anything at the moment.
So
It's
we were already
gone.
on it. We were already on that today, Councilman Reeves.
Hold on.
Thank
You
you.
ain't got nothing. Hold on, wait. All that yield, all that bounty that you have is, you know what I mean? It's something, a turnip or something.
Councilman,
Yeah.
we'll talk.
We are working with Chandra on how to help her sell her items, since she is a local grower. And if there are other local growers out there, because I know we have a few gardens floating around. that is willing to sell some of their vegetables before they go bad, please, this is a food desert. So, and for those of you who don't know what a food desert is, think of other communities that have a lot of food opportunities. And then think of ours. When you drive down Old National, you mainly see fast food restaurants, which contributes to health issues like high blood pressure, diabetes, and not so many places that provide fresh food alternatives. So that grocery stores that don't carry a lot of fresh alternatives, that you go on other neighborhoods and you see it, that creates your food desert opportunities. If there's only a grocery store in so many miles, that you saw happen when they shot up in Buffalo, there wasn't another grocery store for like 10 miles, 15 miles in a radius. So that would be the equivalent of, you wouldn't have another one from here to Union City, Fairburn, all of that. So those is what food deserts are somewhat considered to be.
But I will say this too. And so somebody out there, somebody somewhere, think about this. We have not one farm to table restaurant in the city of South Fulton. Just think about that. And so, if you know any restaurateurs or opportunity does exist, whoever does will be the first. There's no farm to table restaurants. Go ahead.
Alrighty, and so this is the last call for the grant group that is getting ready to start up again. We will be volunteering to provide grant writing support to our local nonprofit organizations. And it is for those who would like to learn more about grant writing, as well as providing their writing skills to support our nonprofits. A lot of them have the capacity, but they don't have a lot of help. And so we're revisiting this in a different format of scaling down the grants that we will use. We'll apply for grants that can be submitted 30 days. And grow in their experience from that process. So if there is someone who wants to participate in the grant group that hasn't done so already, or people who've already been in grant group who want to come back, then please let me know. We'll be starting this week. We're getting ready to start.
Thank you so much, Tamiko, General Leverett. I tell you this, we appreciate all you do. And so you be up on them grants, as great subject matter expertise in that. And didn't you win one recently? A couple of them?
So yes, we just got the $45,000 from Fulton County, the summer youth job program, and we were able to provide jobs over in the 5th and 6th district. They were strategically placed. When you have a nonprofit and it's not the city, you can control where they go. So we made sure we took care of the Old National District. So we put some
thank
over.
you, Tamiko.
You're welcome. And so let me be clear. They got paid 15. Well, they're still working. They work till they go back to school, but they're making $15 an hour, and they're teenagers, 15, 16, 18. I think one is 20. But these are teenagers who are making over the summer $5,000 to $8,000. They also get a computer to go back to school. They also get $250 towards school clothes. And they get career job coaching and resume assistance.
Back to Thrive. And also, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I'm bragging and boasting, right? And so, you know what I mean? It's because, see, we do have greatest resources right here. They might be your neighbor. And so, let me just say this. And who's responsible? And this is just the city employees alone. for saving city employees $3 million in student loans forgiveness. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm not sorry because I apologize to absolute nobody because Facts and Thrive did that. As General Levy, you have greatest reason. That's 3 million. And get that, that's just the city. Now we ain't talking about the people who was outside the city. Ladies
And
and
I got
gentlemen,
another call Friday. I forgot to tell you that.
I'm
To
trying to
you.
tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to inform, educate, influence as look here, I'm bragging about that right there. $3 million.
Yes, we've done a seminar about a month or two ago on how to get government contract certification. We do CPR with Miss Mumford. We have helped with getting the job training program in place. We are working on getting ready to submit a grant by the end of this month for youth homelessness that we were invited to apply for. And then we have a couple other ones we're getting ready to submit, but that's the main one we were asked to submit for.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to tell you, I'm ready to scream, but I'm going to control myself. But I do want to, because he said something about youth homelessness. As the homeless gentleman that was occupying Fairwood Road for quite some time, his name is Ben, and I had quite a few conversations with Ben, and I just wanted to find out what was Ben's story. And so over the last couple of weeks, I got to know Ben and Ben's story. But I was just like, Ben, but you gotta, we can't be here. And so but there's nowhere for Ben to go. And so, but I did get him moved off of Fairwood because I did it myself and to another location. But Ben needs some ongoing support. He's functional, he's quite coherent. And we're gonna get Ben cleaned up. As anybody want to help Ben, I'm gonna say you can give funds to Facts to Thrive so that he can get in the hotel. My guy's gonna give him a haircut. We're gonna give him some clothes, and potentially, a career opportunity. And so, Ben had got himself in a little situation. But the least of these will always be amongst us, and it is our duty as to see what we can do and help them if they want the help. Now, if they do not want the help and they choose to refuse the help, that's something different. But, as very interesting young man. But as I said, and as I stated, that's our duty. But we have literally, there's nowhere around here for him to go. And this is before he moves back on to Chicago with his family. And so I'm trying to get him some funds in a way that he can get home. And so, but if anybody want to assist with that, feel free. Not to me, but get the Facts of Thrive. And so we can see fit that, Ben goes back home decent to his family. And so I'll just say that. And so it's we had a long conversation Friday night into Saturday morning. But however, as I just wanted to update, because I know that some people have inquired about that situation. And if we do see that, we just need to go ahead and nip that in the bud. And so, because there's a place for them, it's just not Fairwood Road and a sidewalk impeding people who walk up and down in the right of way. So, but we do have compassion and we do care about those who are less fortunate. And so, but that leads to a bigger issue. But thank you, Tamiko, for that, as helping with youth homelessness. And I think that that's going to go a long way, as because I don't think people realize how much homelessness we do have currently that's staring right at us. So, but anyway,
Thank you, Tamiko.
as that's awesome.
So Mayor, I know we're about to wrap up this, Loretta. So I know you probably started the conversation on our current mayor. Can you give us some update on those, kind of finish off on, I know it's not, probably not a lot to do with you, but just to get us, our residents in this, South Fulton to understand what's going on in leadership. Can you just kind of
Well, Miss
comment
Loretta,
on
we
that?
are just out of time right now. We done got through the
No, no,
whole evening. As get this, we done got through the whole
you
7:46,
could
and
have you could
people got their
briefly.
fries on. They ready to fry that chicken. I'm going to get a couple of wings now.
See,
And
there
so
you go.
I would
See?
just say this: as he's out, he made a statement, and government, we will continue on. I don't know the circumstances that's all around it. I did invite him to come on and tell his side. And so, but I think that he's already done that in the media as well. And we're just going to stay tuned, but he's not going anywhere to my knowledge. And so he's still our mayor.
Okay.
I
That's
think
what
that
I
it
wanted
just,
to know. Okay. That's what I
oh yeah,
wanted to
he's duly elected by the people. And so, and we do, I respect that. And so it's, but however, we will continue on to monitor this situation. Stay tuned. And so we do have a work session tomorrow at 4:00 at Welcome All Park. And so stay tuned as our government is still intact.
Okay, thank you. I just
Okay.
want to make sure. I'm sure everybody was wondering, keeping their ear, but I just thought I'd ask.
So
Well,
you
thank
all
you,
won't be at
Corey and
school
Tamiko.
tomorrow? So you guys won't be at the school tomorrow?
We'll be at Welcome All.
Welcome all. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you answer my question about the subcontractor for Waste Pro? Do you know?
I
Well,
don't
focus.
specifically know who it is.
Oh, Latham Sanitation.
It's who?
Latham Sanitation, and it was Fulton Sanitation.
Yeah, it was Fulton Sanitation, but they're not.
No,
They said.
that's over. And so completely. And so as you see how they just left our city. And so I honestly don't welcome them back. But however, they was given an opportunity, they failed. And so either Waste Pro or Latham will be, it'll be divvied up between the subcontractor and the prime.
Okay. Because we have not had garbage collected in a month. Okay.
No worries. That will be handled. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you
That will be
all.
handled. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for y'all time, attention, and as help spread the good news. And so what we do have coming and what has been happening and what will continue to happen. And so as long as we keep in mind, we, collaboration win championships, and I love you all. You can't do nothing about it. And let's keep moving towards progress. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks, Corey. Thanks, Tamiko.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Tamiko.
Corey,
Thanks,
Tamiko.
guys.
Thank y'all.
Have a good evening.